The Eye of Horus podcast contains adult banter.
Never back down, never give in. Just let the fucking happen till themselves in. Never back down, never give in. Just let the fucking happen till themselves.
Welcome back to the Eye of Horus podcast, season 1, episode 3. Coming to you from beautiful sunny Queensland in Australia. Look up the Great Barrier Reef. That's where we are.
Beautiful one day, perfect the next.
That's right. My lovely co-host Michael is here.
Good afternoon, all.
And so, do you want to give us a rundown of what we're going to do this week? Oh, we should talk about the computer and laptop and stuff. So, we were originally recording on my laptop, which was just pile of shit. I just basically use it to play StarCraft 2 on. And now we're using Michael's shit hot laptop, and the quality's a lot better. We got rid of that snake hissing sound. It sounded like we were recording in a Jungle Book style snake pit, you know, like the one that Mowgli falls into. And then,
I went to Cubs, I know all that stuff.
And then Baloo and Bagheera enlist a giant snake to like break down the wall of the snake pit. Yeah. Shit's sick as fuck. Shout out to the Jungle Book. Anyway, so let's get on with the show. What are we doing this week?
We got quite a lot of interesting stuff on. Well, we think it is, so it must be. So basically, we'll go through. We're going to talk about what we've been doing in the hobby, what we've been up to this week. New stuff, what's come out from Forge World this week. And a bit of rumours, a bit of gossip, a bit of speculation. Ooh.
Man, I can't wait to talk about the new thing that Forge World dropped. But anyway,
yeah, it's good.
It's
good. So after that, we had a few questions this week about where do I start in Heresy?
Yeah.
How do I get into this? What is it all about? So we're going to devote a fair bit of time into our opinion as to where we think you should start and where we started. And how we got into it all, and hopefully help a few people out that have a few questions. So we're going to go away. We're going to come back after the break, and Tim's going to do a book review. He's been busy reading.
That's right. I've just finished reading Vengeful Spirit, which is a pretty awesome book about Horus doing like a whole bunch of shit-hot Greek hero-style acts.
That's good, because I haven't read it yet, so I'm looking forward to hearing about it.
You're in for a treat. This book is like next level loco. It's great. So I'll be giving a brief review about that book.
Cool. And after that, we've got another army gallery, our second one, and that's going to be my Imperial Fists.
Oh man, these models are so awesome. We've got them sitting out here so we can look at them, and they're super distracting.
So don't worry, next week I guarantee you we're out of our own armies to do. So next gallery is going to be.
I've got some more Mechanicum stuff.
Oh, that's true.
Tread water for a bit with that.
We can do that.
But yeah, we're hoping to catch up with Nate and Danny soon. Get some photos of their armies, maybe, if they'll let us.
And finally, we'll wrap up the show with events, a couple of shout outs, and that'll be the show for us today.
Excellent. Let's get the fuck on with it. So, what we've been doing. What have you been doing?
Once again, Fellblade. It's a big project. I know I'm dragging my heels, but I mean, we...
Oh shit, did we get any pictures up?
No, I didn't put... Okay.
How dare you. Alright.
But we've both got full-time jobs, doing this
that's
podcast, so it's been a bit crazy the last couple of weeks. So
you've got kids, we've got a lot going on.
So, I've done a bit more weathering. I'm nearly at the stage where I'm going to start oils and rust... and all those kind of effects. This one, it's taking me a bit more time because I have to plan what I'm doing because it's probably the wrong model to be trying out new methods and techniques on. But it's something I'm going to do. I'm going to try the... You're
going to redo some Spartans, though, aren't you?
I'm going to... Yeah, my army's probably going to end up 3 Spartans strong because I think they're the best thing in 30k pretty much. But that's for another segment.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to use a lot of different. I think I mentioned them last week. The AK interactive stuff.
Yeah.
135th military modelers are doing all your like World War II stuff. I just love the effects, and I think that's perfect for Heresy.
Like those old those Verlinden catalogs.
Yeah, I used to love them when I was a lot younger.
I used to buy those all the time when I was like 15 or something.
Yeah,
just
so
look at all the awesome World War II stuff.
Yeah, I really like that that aesthetic, that feel. So I want to do
like what is it? What is it like? What is it? What is it called? Weathering? Is there a specific style? Because you know how there's like what is it? Non-metallic, metallic, NM.
Yeah, NNMs. Yeah.
And then there's just standard Games Workshop style painting.
Yeah, there's all different styles. I prefer the realistic kind of.
But you also like doing highlights though as well, like your Beastman army.
Yeah, that's why I like painting different things in the hobby. I pick something, and I want to practice and I want this to look like X, and then I'll do another project, and I want this project to look completely different. So I don't get bored painting the same thing, and I learn.
So to truly pwn at painting, you must pwn at all styles.
That's
of
right.
painting.
Yeah, you must try everything.
All right.
So I really have to plan out what I'm doing because I've never used the AK out of the bottle rust and oil effects. And that's what I'm going to try this week.
Oh, I want to try some of those, some more rust effects on my Land Raider. I'm thinking of building the second one, painting that up, and then doing the rust on both of them at the same time.
Yeah, and well, that's a good idea because I'm worried that this vehicle, the Fellblade, will look radically different to the rest of the army because I've tried all these new effects. So I really should have thought about it more before I jumped into it.
Yeah, it's like with my Necron army. You know, like when you first start painting an army. Just through painting a couple of squads, you start to get better, and you're like, oh shit, fucking look at these
I've
guys.
got the worst habit of starting with an independent character or a Terminator squad, and where I should always start with troops or something basic. I always practice before I jump into something.
That's you're in the 1990s army collecting like meta. You basically just buy a bunch of random shit.
They were the glory days. Yeah, I'll just use it somehow. Yeah. Well, that's what I've been up to. What have you been up to?
Oh shit! Oh, I've been reading Vengeful Spirit.
StarCraft.
Trying to get that through. I was playing a little bit of StarCraft. I've actually finished the first campaign now, and I don't know if I'm going to buy the second one.
Don't.
That laptop just pisses me off. Maybe I should just never open that. Oh no, I'll have to use it to edit this show. But yeah, it's really pissing me off that we spent.
So you've read Vengeful Spirit, and what else have you been up to?
Yeah, just reading Vengeful Spirit and just hardcore cramming that into my brain, trying to absorb it, and that's about all. I don't think I've done anything else. Have I painted anything? I don't think so. Is there something that I'm forgetting?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Okay, so Greg over at the Imperial Truth sent us a nice email after our second episode.
Yep. Cheers, Greg.
And worded us up about a couple of things, like the sound being low and all that sort of thing. But he also said that we should, describe us? What?
Let listeners get to know us.
Yeah, let the listeners get to know us. So, what we're going to do is each week, we're going to have one question that we can ask the other person. One probing question to probe into the other person's mind. So, I'm going to ask Michael a question, or do you want to ask your question first? No, I'll ask mine.
You ask yours, but you've built this up. I've been trying to guess what it is, and I've got no idea.
I haven't really built it up, have I? Do you reckon?
We did all afternoon. Whatever.
I just said that, you were saying yours is going to be controversial. And I was saying...
Depending on...
Okay, cool. So, I thought of this really late last night. So I'm going to ask it to you now. Okay, so, this is the first ever...
I'm braced.
What do we call it? Host questions?
Something, yeah. I need some music.
Alright, host questions. You have to have a three-way with one of the 18 Primarchs and his girlfriend. Remember, you need to consider the Primarch, but also what his girlfriend would be like. So, Angron, obviously, he's going to have, just some crazy...
that's easy. You don't even have to go through it. It'd have to be Fulgrim. I mean, Jesus.
So you go all the way? You just fucking embrace it?
Well, it's obvious. He swings both ways, and he's either going to have some smoking hot chick or some smoking hot demon. And if I'm in this situation...
smoking hot demon.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Do you know what my answer would be?
Vulcan?
No, it'd be Korax, because he only likes to watch.
I see what you did there. Oh, jeez. Well, okay, so that's the level you've already sunk the show to.
I think, I've set the tone, so...
Well, mine was...
Do you want time to think of another question?
No. Mine was a legit hobby question.
Oh, okay.
Which could be quite controversial. I didn't realize that. That's why it totally caught me off guard. But there you go. All right, okay. In your honest opinion, what is the weakest release Forge World has done, model-wise?
What's the weakest release?
Yeah, for 30k.
Ooh,
what is your least? Not necessarily. I know it's a really strong range,
really
but personally, what is your least favorite 30k release that Forge World has done, and why? That's why I said it was going to be controversial.
I don't even know, man.
See, I asked a serious hobby question, and you just wanted to go primary schoolyard.
I don't know. It's hard to be negative because Forge World stuff is all so good.
Okay, what stands out to you least?
Oh, I've got something in mind. So I just want to preface this by saying almost every single time Forge World drops something, I'm like, holy fuck! What the hell?
That's why I thought
that
it would be a hard question.
Yeah, it is a hard question.
An interesting.
It has to be Lorgar. I just don't like Lorgar. First of all, I don't like him as a person. I don't like him as a Primarch. I don't like his values. No, I don't know. The model, it's like, I like how sort of sword and sorcery, the base is and everything.
Yeah.
And I like that he's sort of standing there holding a book. I just don't, I don't know. There's something about it. It just
Really?
irks me. Yeah.
Okay.
And plus, not liking Lorgar to begin with. Just
But,
being like,
you
what
know,
a fucking traitor.
That's true. Like my personal opinion of a unit can really influence me at times as to how much I like the model. I know it sounds stupid,
Yeah.
but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. And he's probably my least liked character in all of the fluff and everything as
But
well.
have you read-
Oh, maybe Erebus too. Like, I really don't like
But
him.
have you read some of the Wordbearer's stories, like The First Heretic and Aurelian? Have you read those, the novellas?
No,
and
I
stuff?
think that.
I think if you read them, it'll change your mind. They're good. Like seriously, I thought
Doubt
the
it.
same about Wordbearers. We always
Dude,
talk about Wordbearers at the start of the show.
I'm pretty sure yeah, I know. Like, Wordbearer. Just, have you read Battle for the Abyss? There's like an
Yeah.
entire chapter of these dudes aboard the ship, and like 40 guys literally just, and it's the biggest battleship of all time, or something like that. It's the ship that they're sending to just crush the Ultramarine fleet.
Yep.
And somehow just 5 dudes get on board it in a boarding to 25 guys or something like that, and they just run to the like some point where they can just kill the entire ship with a melter bomb. I don't know. I just don't buy it. I didn't buy that shit. And there's so many dudes. There's like, what's a chapter? I'm assuming it's 1,000 guys. Anyway, that's enough. Just like
Well, hopefully you liked my intellectual
anti-Wordbearer
question,
shit.
and you also enjoyed Tim's question.
Okay, great. Moving along. So new
New
stuff.
stuff. What came out this week, Tim?
We had possibly one of the best releases ever.
I gotta agree with you. I've been
The Ogre and Charonite.
Yeah,
stuff.
when I saw these in the SA list, I was wondering how they were going to approach them and how they were going to do them, and I was hoping it wasn't going to be dudes in more wife beater singlets.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Because they're in Void Hunt armor. Yeah, these guys look so freaking good. Like, I just, like, it's mind-blowing how good they are. It's like, it's mind-boggling how good they are. Like, there's so many nice little touches. Like, have you noticed that see how they've got those things that are like a tri-blade? Like, it's like 3 Bowie knives?
Yeah,
Like 3
Edward
cutaway.
Scissorhand style.
Yeah, and the blades are pointed outwards, and when it's closed, it's like a punching like triangle.
Yep.
So they basically just run up to an Astarte and just go like, "Time to die, asshole!" Plunge into their chest, and then just the servos just go and just fucking blow a marine apart.
Yeah,
That is so
I can see
sick.
that.
Ugh. Can't take how awesome they are. They're
And
really
I
good.
like the way their armor is basically like a monstrous version of the human infantry armor.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
really cool.
If anybody has seen the models in the flesh, can you tell me the one with like the bare head? Can you model it so his mask is on, or do you have to have like a bare-headed one? Because I really want to have them all with helmets. I think
Just looking at, I think there's an actual picture.
maybe it comes. Oh, does it come with a spare head?
I'm just looking now. It possibly looks like it could.
They're so cool.
Yeah,
Have you seen
actually,
the picture
yes,
of them?
it is. There's,
Oh, really?
there's 4 heads for 3 Ogrons.
Yes, Forge World, you've done it again.
You win the
Yeah,
internet.
these guys are great. We should just quickly. Why should you buy these?
Oh, because
Because-
they're absolute close combat beasts with a myriad of uses.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're not going to just spoil all the rules or anything, but holy shit, they're pretty great. 3 of them is a basic squad, 185 points. Like, they're pretty great. Like, they've got the normal Ogren stats. They've got AP3 blades,
Yeah.
and on a 6 they do instant death, like a Paragon blade.
Yep.
Oh my god, they're so good. And they've also got like a special rule where if they break, I think you can choose to just take wounds on the unit.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, choose to employ dead man's switch.
So just looking at them,
Yeah,
like,
you just don't break and you take D3 wounds on the unit. That's so fucking
I guess
good.
I got 3 wounds each, so...
Yeah.
Eh.
Man, that's so
what's
radical.
the worst? I'll lose
Like,
one.
I had like a you know that army I've got that's all like chaos. What is it, like Chaos Guard or something?
Oh,
like that?
yeah,
Basically like
your
a
Trader Guard, basically.
Yeah, Trader Guard sort of army, and I had 10 Ogrons, and those guys were so shit hot. These ones are even better. Like,
Yeah.
holy crap! A unit of 10 of them, like, it's pretty expensive. It's like 440 points or something like that. But man, just 10 of those smashing into anything is just going to run right through them. Also, those instant on a 6, it's like AP2 or something as well. Their attack, so you can run them into Terminators and just burn them down.
Yeah, I think we actually rolled that out one day just to see the effect on it, and it
Yeah.
was pretty piss
Yeah.
poor for the Terminators. They're just going to get destroyed.
Yeah,
And that's worst case, Thunderhammer and Storm Shield if you have Imperial Fists.
Yeah. And yeah, so any roll of a hit of a 6, you then roll them separately, and they are at normal strength, but AP2 with instant death.
That's pretty cool.
That's so shit hot. Oh,
I mean,
God.
and there's some pretty good options like super heavy transports and stuff for them.
Yeah. Imagine just running into Castellax with
Yeah.
those. Just 4 or 5 of those would just
Imagine like
drill Castellax.
10 of these guys, Zone Mortalis, into a attack squad of 20 dudes. Yeah, mate, do you want to bother rolling out? I just want to take
So
these
good.
guys
Yeah.
off the table.
And like Solar Auxilia now, they've got models for those guys, and they also have models out for the Cyclops demolition vehicle. Like imagine trying to face that in Zone Mortalis game. If they're running Cyclops, like a unit of Cyclops, and also maybe just 2 units of 3 Charonites. Ugh. And just
Pretty
a couple of
good.
Elatar squads. Oh my god. Alright, anyway, what else
Love
has come out?
All right, well, I know usually it's not rumors, gossip, speculation.
Have you been on Bell of Lost Souls?
I've been all over the internet, and like I couldn't help myself. I mean,
Balls.
there's a lot of interesting rumors and speculation going on lately. So take this with a grain of salt. Keep in mind, this is somebody reading something off the internet, which was told by someone else. So there's probably a purple monkey dishwasher to be put on the
Wait.
end.
So where did this rumor come from?
The
So
internet.
you heard this from someone who
The
read it
internet,
online?
who was told by somebody.
Okay, so somebody...
Online.
Okay.
I don't know, but basically it's on the internet, and it sounds plausible.
How many points of failure are there in this story?
All of them.
4 or 5?
Yeah.
Does it go back to like somebody at Games Workshop?
No,
Like,
totally.
somebody
anonymous.
told me
No,
over a beer.
Just as far as I know, it's all anonymous. It's
I was
just off
having
the
a
rumor
pint at
websites like
Warhammer
Bell of
World.
Lost Souls, Spiky Bits. Some guys have compilated all the things that are going around the net at the moment and gone, this points to this.
Okay.
Which,
So,
It's
so
just pretty
some Games Workshop detective,
yeah, I don't know who it is.
like a
I
truther.
don't know what it is.
All right. Okay. So what is it?
Okay.
What's the fucking rumor?
So basically, somebody saw a Forge World link on a Games Workshop retail site.
Yeah.
So that's different.
Wait, what does that mean?
I don't know. That's what I'm just saying. These are all rumors that everyone is like conspiracy theorists around the internet put together to come up with.
What are they doing? Trying to hack Games Workshop or something?
I don't know. Hacking
What do you mean they
mainframe,
saw a link
tweaking
there?
the Infinity engine? I don't know. Like, up the top of Games Workshop, how it's got links to everything.
Yeah.
It actually had one to Forge World.
Ah.
It's never been there before
And then it
on the
disappeared.
site, and it got taken off.
Ooh, right. Okay. So yeah, right.
So
right.
that hand in hand with the new line deal being finished, the Hobbit stuff.
Yeah.
So GW is, I'm not sure.
Is that definitely finished?
Hopefully, as far as that's all I'm going to say on that. But they don't have to stock it, and all that stuff is going to direct, so mail order only.
Yeah.
So that's going to leave a lot of shelf space. So basically, the rumor is this is the internet saying this, not me. I just thought it was interesting. I thought it would share.
Okay. Yeah, we're
That-
not like a rumor show, but
Yeah, but this was quite significant. That backs up the fact that people have been saying a starter set for Heresy is coming.
yeah,
It's going to be supported through the shop.
made out of plastic. Games
Made out of
Workshop.
plastic?
Like
There's-
snap fit.
I hope not. Hopefully, it's a bit more complex.
Yeah. All right.
And that the retail outlets are going to start stocking and selling Forge World. So-
That's interesting.
That's positive because that means you don't have to wait for 16 of your mates to get together that want to
Yeah.
order
Well, it's
one
weird.
$10 thing from Forge World each, so you're not paying the
Yeah.
shipping on it.
That's so weird. They spent all that time getting rid of metal miniatures and getting rid of, bringing fine cast down to almost nothing, and now they're going to have Forge World stuff. I don't know. Sounds interesting.
It's
if it's
interesting.
true.
No, that's what I'm just saying. Grain of salt,
Yeah,
guys.
crazy.
It could be. I think that's
But-
a positive step for the
Shit,
hobby.
dude. Imagine how convenient that would be. We
I'd
could
love
go to
that.
Games Workshop here and buy stuff rather than having to order it from UK and wait
the
for it to
postage.
come.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, we just got involved in a hobby where you have to order everything from the other side of the world.
And so
Order it from the motherland.
yeah,
Send
and,
it out to this colony.
and I think that's like, as this is like a show that's all about the 30k community. I think that's a good thing for the hobby, like for 30k in general.
Yep.
Go down there and actually buy it. That's
yeah,
awesome.
If it, also, yeah, plastic.
Yeah.
30k could be interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's just something I thought I would mention in the news rumors. I know we don't want to become a gossip show, but I thought that was interesting. And if that's true, take heart, everybody. That sounds
Yeah.
really good.
Well, the other thing is, like, people are probably talking about it anyway. We might as well just talk about it as well.
Yeah, exactly. So jump on that wagon.
But I would say I rate this highly dubious.
Yeah, I believe it when I see it. Same with a lot of rumors. Like there was
Yeah.
so much speculation about what 7th 40k
Yeah.
would be, and only half of that stuff, the insane stuff I read.
Oh, there's
probably
always
panned out.
going to be fucking rumor mongers. Like, remember Portal.com? Was it
Oh, that's old
Portal.net or
school.
something
Yeah,
back
yeah,
in the
yeah.
day?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Some
That
of the
is
rumors
old
that came up
school.
on there. Like, we never got that Pigman army from Cathay. What happened to that?
Damn it! I already had a few conversions planned out for that.
Yeah, sumo pigs and shit. Okay, so is there any chance I can win a Titan this week?
You know what?
What?
If you live anywhere but Australia,
Really?
yes. I know we aren't going to bring this up, but we thought let's just put it out there. Like, due to reasons beyond us, we don't know whether it's probably Australian competition law, which I've seen speculated quite a few places, that everybody in the world can possibly win a Reaver Titan unless you live in Australia.
That's right. What if you're in ISIS?
Yeah.
So ISIS can win that
Yeah.
Titan and I can't? Oh, hell no.
That's another reason to hate them.
I should reiterate, though, we are on the other side, like almost the opposite side of the world.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I mean, it must be Australian competition law or something, but
yeah,
that's a thing. So if you're anywhere but Australia, make sure you go and enter this competition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what do? You go to the Forge World site, and then over on the right
there's a big link to it, yeah.
Yeah, sign up to the newsletter. Like, it's so awesome. Every single Friday night, well, it's Friday night for us.
Yeah.
Just as we're about to sit down and play Dungeons and Dragons, we get an email through from Forge World.
That stops
and
the
it's
game.
Guess
we
what?
just go, yes.
900 just dropped. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So if you're
Really
anywhere else in
changes
the
the
world except
D&D
Australia,
meta.
sign up to the newsletter. And if you're in Australia, sign up as well, dummy. Like, you definitely want to know what the latest shit is. Otherwise, like, how are you going to know? Yeah. Oh, I guess they could catch up
Just
by
listen
listening
to
to
us,
but
because, yeah, we'll definitely
well,
cover it.
there's going to be a couple of days gap from when they drop that stuff and when our podcast comes out, and you want to be
You
up to
wanna know.
date.
You wanna
need
know.
to get that.
Unless you're just waiting for our 2 cents worth, which is probably
Yeah, that's true.
it's probably worthwhile.
Each source is equally valid, except the Forge World newsletter also has links to the bulletin, which drops.
Yeah, that's really good.
Mm.
There's been a lot of good stuff coming out. I like the jigsaw that they do. Like
Yeah.
every bulletin or something,
Yeah,
they drop a piece of the
jigsaw.
jigsaw. And guess what this is?
They also have like armies from the studio. They're always fucking sick. They all
really, like,
pictures-
works in progress
Have you seen
from
the
stuff
latest
that's
things on
coming
there,
out?
like
No.
the pictures of just
I
like
might have.
super pro painted shit.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, there's some awesome Imperial Fists guy
Ooh,
in Mark
have to go
IV on
check
there.
that.
Like, that looks shit hot. There's a Spartan on there, Imperial Fist Spartan. They
All
would
right.
interest you.
I don't know why I didn't
Shazzy.
get sent. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't get set that. I've signed up to just about everything I can find.
Oh,
on the
really?
internet, I think.
I
Yeah.
get an email, I think it's midweek usually, and it says,
Alright.
click on this link to go to the bulletin.
Well,
Yeah, it's really good. So check out both those things, the bulletin and also the Forge World newsletter. And if you're anywhere else in the world, you can win a Reaver Titan. Do you get to choose weapons? Choose loadout?
I think so. It comes with it comes with
man,
weapons.
that's awesome.
So yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Unless you're an ISIS, in which case, don't bother.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's pretty much everything from the news section, unless you have any special last-minute breaking
I've got
news.
nothing else. That's pretty much.
We should mention Ajax is here fetching us beers as well, because it's a pretty hot Queensland day. It's something like, what was it, late 30s or something today?
Something like that, yeah.
Ugh.
He's been one of our gaming pals for the last 20 years as well.
Yeah, just surfing the net, looking at stuff up for us in between while we're talking. Okay, so we're up to...
Well, that whole new stuff, rumours, segues well into our next segment.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you start when you want to start playing Heresy?
New armies.
What do you
and
do?
stuff.
I mean, a box set would be perfect, but unfortunately, there's not one yet. And hopefully they've identified that, and that's why this box set's coming.
Oh, really? You reckon?
I
Like a box set?
think so, because I've been asked, like, we got a couple of tweets and emails and stuff this week from a couple of different people saying, hey, look, 30k is super interesting, but there's just so much stuff. Where do I start?
Well, first of all, you probably want to get the books right and then start writing up a list. Or do you want to... Well,
there's a lot of things to consider when you start
Yeah.
Heresy. Like, what do you want out of your army? Have you been a Dark Angels fan since you were 11 and you want to do Black Dark Angels? Do you want to do that? Or do you want to do... You've seen the rules and you think, this list is pretty competitive because I've seen 6 people running it. I want to do that. Sort of, or what models do you
I
like?
like Sikaran tanks.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
like
take
Sicaran.
3 Sikarans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess there's a lot of things. There's so many considerations.
So what are we going to do? So we're going to go through, basically, we're both about to
Yeah.
start new armies. We're going to go through the considerations and things that we've made for our armies, I guess.
Yeah, and where we would start if we were starting right at the start. Can I say start anymore?
Jesus Christ. Okay, right. Okay, so you basically want to start by getting the books right.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Just to begin with, the background in the books is more of a historical version of events rather than the books, which is like, what, a narrative version of events, I'm
I
guessing?
guess so.
Or
Yeah,
like a
it's really well written, more like a
novelized
analysis, or it's like reading a proper military
Yeah.
campaign.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really well thought out, well written, and it gives you a really good background into some of the armies that reading the novels doesn't give you.
correct.
Sort of more tactical, more realistic, I guess, it's good. That's why one of the reasons why I love reading the Heresy books, because of that style.
Yeah, so when you get one of these books, like you probably want to start by reading. I guess it depends which Legion you've got, right? So which Legion you want to start?
Yeah, if you've got friends with the big black books, borrow them and read them.
Yeah,
because they're a fantastic place to start.
Definitely. Find a mate who's got them and just say, look, can I borrow one of these books at a time?
That's if he's nice enough, because they're beautiful.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah. They are very nice.
Go to their house and read their books there.
Yeah. Travel to their house like a monk, and then just basically
read your mighty
sit in their
tomes.
basement with a candle over your shoulder, and then just carefully read through them, making sure not to damage any pages.
Yeah.
Because they're like some of the best. They've got to be some of the best books Games Workshop's ever dropped, right?
Yeah.
They are. They've got to be.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
I've bought all their collector's editions.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Love the books.
Are there any books? Maybe Chaos Space Marine Codex from in the late '90s. That was the Andy Chambers.
Classic.
Yeah,
that
was pretty great.
Yellow covered one with a band on the front.
Yep. Full '80s picture.
Yeah, full '80s metal. Look, I reckon
90s,
books is the place to start. We realise that the big black books are super expensive, and the problem is the Legion you want may not be in the book you buy. So let me put it out there, because the 4 black books have
you're
different...
confusing the shit out of people.
Okay, so if you want to get all the Space Marine rules in one product, you need to get the 2 red books.
Yeah, okay. So the 2 red books are Space Marine Crusade Army List.
Yep.
And the...
one with all the chapters, the campaign books.
So the campaign list.
I think you can buy them together as a set.
Yeah.
So if you want to do a Legion, that's where to start.
Yeah, so we've got those. Like I've got... Yeah, you've got all of the books, right?
Plus I've got all the black books, yeah.
The red books, yeah. So they're really great. So that you want the Crusade Army List, that's basically got the Space Marine Crusade
the
list,
generic
which
Legion.
is every single unit.
Yep. And the good thing is the red books are errated.
They're errated, yeah.
Because in book 1 through to book 4, there's been a few changes with the actual Legion list.
Yeah.
And the red books are the most up to date.
No, there's also an errata on top of that. A 7th errata.
On top of that, yeah. For the game, not the army list.
Yeah, correct, yeah. Oh, no, some of the army list things changed.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Legion Seekers. We should go through that FAQ.
Yeah, because there's a lot of interesting things. Like if you look at originally some of the Emperor's Children stuff, like Palatine Blades, you're like, you're looking at them as so because you can only take 5, and the weapons choices are pretty limited. But now in the errata, you can take squads of 10, and you can give them all Phoenix Blades.
Yeah,
which is king shit.
There's a bunch of things. Like I think the Legion Seekers and also Legion Veteran Tacticals getting objective secured.
Yeah, which is a big boost as well.
That's a pretty big game change as well.
Yeah, so you want the most
that's a good idea
one.
for another show. Just go through the FAQ. Some people don't like reading shit like that.
That's true, and you can get left out. Yeah, if you don't know what to look for.
I'd rather hear you read it out to them.
My dulcet tones.
That's right. So you want to get that book, and then the other red book is the breakdown for each chapter. Yeah, it doesn't have the background, does it?
Doesn't have the background. It's pure rules.
So these are just rules.
But it gives you the special characters for your Legion you've chosen.
Wait, hold on. If I'm heading out to a tournament and I'm playing a Space Marine army, I just need to take those 2 books, right? The one for my Legion and the one for the basic list.
Yep.
Now, because at the moment when I go to a tournament, I have to take book 2 if I'm playing Legio Cybernetica.
Yeah, well, actually,
or
that's
book 3 if I'm playing Mechanicum. So there's no red books.
No red book for the extra list.
So if you're a Space Marine, you're getting in cheap, man.
Yeah, well, actually,
I have to buy 2 huge books.
For me myself, a Space Marine Legion and Heresy, I think, is the place to start.
You reckon? I reckon Mechanicum is, man.
Nah, well,
start with just the total slaughterers.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's simple. Well, I say Space Marine Legions for a couple of reasons. It's simple to understand, and if you've come from 40k, it's nearly the same. It's the same strategy building an army.
Yeah.
There's very few different rules between a 40k Space Marine army and a Legion army that are different. There are some major differences, like 20-man tag squads, Fury of the Legion, things like that. But it's a lot easier to start. It's cheaper because a lot of the Mechanicum stuff, model-wise, is a lot more expensive. And the good thing is with Space Marines, you can just basically, just say you do decide to do a Sons of Horus army to start with, and eventually you play a few games and go, oh, what's this Mechanicum stuff? I want to go there. You can just use your small Sons of Horus force as allies to your Mechanicum later on.
Yeah.
So you're not wasting miniatures. It's just a good place to start, to learn the rules, see what's out there, and pick a mechanic that you like and run with it. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Legion's a good place to start.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're coming from a Space Marine background.
Yeah.
Or
Like
especially if
Mechanicum-
you're not tired of Space Marines.
Mechanicum confuses the shit out of me still. The list-wise with the Tagmata and...
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, taking them as allies, I guess, is probably a better idea. Okay, so
The books. Start at the books.
start at the books.
Yep.
So what have we got so far? You're going to your friend's house, you're reading all the black books,
Yep.
or you're just buying all the black books,
Yep.
starting with number one.
Whichever.
Read through the background, check it all out. It's all incredible shit. Like, it's just mine. Some of the background is really, really
It's
just...
in-
it changes
yeah.
your mind about legions. Didn't change my mind about word bearers, but...
Well, yeah, I really didn't like Imperial Fists ever in 40k, and I was just like, ugh, whatever. But after
goody two shoes.
after reading about
Just
them,
a whole legion of just mill houses.
yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. Like I was talking about your hobby considerations. So I started mine. I think I mentioned in one of the other shows
Yeah.
because I couldn't paint yellow. There's no better way to learn how to paint yellow than just to sit down and paint
Have to paint a
countless
shitload
yellow
anyway.
dudes, and yeah. So I learned, and that's why I chose them. And then the fluff started coming out about them, and I'm like, actually, these guys are pretty rad. I'm fully into this now.
Yeah, they are just brutal motherfuckers now.
Brutal.
They've always seemed like we've been 40k players for 20 years. Well, not 20 years.
Roughly, give or take.
Yeah,
Fair while.
just under 20 years. And they've always just been the just goody two shoes, right? But
Yeah.
like in the Legion times, like these guys were just like executioners, right?
Yeah, they're pretty hardcore.
Yeah, the Legions are the ones that got all the shit done in the galaxy, basically. So what are you going to do then? You're going to start drawing up a list once you've decided
Yeah, once
on
I've
which
got my
Legion you're doing?
books, yeah. I'm not going to buy models straight away because you can buy totally the wrong things and have an army that doesn't function. Like if you sit down and buy 3 Vindicators, a couple of jet bikes, a drop pod, it's not all going to work together. Obviously, it's not a legal army.
So
you
saying
can't
get
use
your
it.
list together first.
Have a good idea.
Don't do
of-
a 90 style.
yeah, have
That's
a good
what we did
idea.
in the 90s. We
just bought
like,
whatever-
the best looking shit.
Yeah, or whatever was on the shelf at Napoleon's military bookshop.
Yeah. So it's alright to do that now, but you probably want to just plan out a list and plan it around the miniatures that you like, rather than what
Exactly.
we used to do.
Yeah.
Just go down to this creepy
And
store.
your fluff too, yeah.
Yeah.
Like for me, the Legion I'm starting is Emperor's Children, and I'm gonna run.
Ooh, shots fired.
Yeah,
So are they going to be traders?
I'm at the moment I'm gonna make them so I can use them for both because we both eventually want to do the campaign
Yes.
from book 1. So
book 2.
from book 2. So you're gonna do Iron Hands,
Hands,
and I'm gonna
correct.
do Emperor's Children.
And we've already got our Primarchs.
Yep. So we just got to get painting eventually. We've both got such huge backlogs. It's
Okay,
ridiculous.
well, let's just go through with each of our process, like what
Yep.
we actually fucking did. So, because we've just been talking about like the best way to do it, and then let's actually
That's the
talk
best
about
way, and then there's the way
then-
we actually did
yeah.
it.
If you put some thought into it, that is how you should do it. If you do what Michael and I did, you're just basically like, oh shit, like Istvan 5 is so cool. Holy shit, have you seen Fulgrim? Holy shit, have you seen Ferrus Manus? And then we just
Yep.
basically went out and got those Primarchs,
Yep.
right?
So yeah, that's exactly right. So the way I chose mine is I've already got Imperial Fists. They're all about shooting, taking damage, implacably walking into the face of an enemy. I want a totally different play style. I want a totally different paint style. So that's my
Maneuver
consideration.
army.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Swift Force.
Yep, super fast, super assaulty. So
Super swift.
if I was gonna, well, what I've done is so I can play this at small points to start with. I've got 2 troops choices, which is 2 squads of assault marines.
Assault Marines.
Yeah.
Whoa.
One of the things I think they're quite good if they're used right. You need to be a bit experienced. You need to have an idea of what to do with them
Yeah.
because for their points they're a bit overcosted, I think,
'Cause
but they can be quite effective.
They're more points than a normal Marine, but they die as easily as
Exactly.
a normal Marine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're not careful with them, you'll
That's the
really
problem with them.
So you really got to sort
And-
of surgically use them.
And also, if there's dense terrain, you're taking difficult checks.
Yeah.
Every time you jump in. And out of
Exactly.
shit.
Yeah, and you're just losing them to jumping into ruins and stuff.
So you've got to use them really carefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where place I'm going to start is for my first 1,000 points is 2 squads of assault marines.
How big are they?
Initially 10, but in the end game when I get up to my total points levels, it'll probably be 2 to 3 squads of 20.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
3 squads of 20.
You got to go big or go home sometimes with these squads. Because if you
man.
get 10 Marines and you lose 10, you've got none. Whereas opposed to, I know this is basic maths, but if you start with 20, lose 10, you've still got 10, and that 10
Correct.
can like take on probably 20 TAC Marines, unless they're upgraded also with the close combat weapons.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they'll do well,
Yeah.
but you'll have a chance.
I just worry about them in terms of like people with battle cannons. Just
See, that therein lies the skill. Do I deep strike them? Do I go bound from cover to cover? Do I just rush in the open, like give threat overload? I've got 3 squads of assault marines coming straight towards you, plus a land raider with Fulgrim in it, plus a squad of jet bikes. What do I shoot at? Do I just leave everything in the open one turn so they're spot for choice? Because if you put one squad of 20 guys out in the open piecemeal, you know where every piece of fire is going.
Yeah. And
so
why wouldn't they?
Yeah, so my 1,000
Snatch up
points,
those souls.
2 assault squads, a Praetor on a jet bike with a small jet bike contingent. That'd be where I start, just for my Emperor's Children.
And that's in 1,000 points.
Roughly. I haven't done the maths yet, but
And
that's what I'd be building to.
Are you using any Rite of War or anything? Or
Not yet.
Special?
No. When it gets bigger, that's when I'm starting to think about bringing in the Maru Skara Rite of War.
Oh.
When I've got a few more bits and pieces that people might not...
Jet bikes can outflank already, can't they?
Yes, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a special rule they have already.
Ah, okay. So they wouldn't get anything from Maruskara. Oh, no, they would.
Well,
if
they're on the table first turn.
Yeah, you could use the Marus. Why don't you just use the Maruskara then? You
That's
get an
the
extra
thing,
inch. You get fleet and stuff.
I haven't even assembled this army or really thought about the ins and
Ah,
outs.
okay, right.
This is for future me.
So it's still an embryo.
Oh, definitely.
Embryonic
It's a sperm
force.
still. It's not even an embryo. That's where I want to go. So what about your Iron Hands? What's your sort of thought process?
So I wanted an army that would ally with my Mechanicum, basically, and I really think that Iron Hands are shit hot. I think Ferrus Manus is just
I mean, their
total
Legion
king
special
shit.
rule is just madness to start with.
Yeah, they remind me of like a Legion from the like Republican era of Rome when they were just total murderers. They would just go out and get shit done.
Yep.
That's basically what their Legion's all about. They're into tank warfare, which I'm a fan of. I think I may be a Tread Ed. So yeah, using the head of the Gorgon Rite of War, you can outflank with all vehicles.
That's good. That's got a whole lot of options to it.
Yeah, totally. That Rite of War also allows you to take Castellax as elites choices, Castellax and Vorax as elites choices in your army.
Oh, so you can take Mechanicum forces as part of your main detachment.
Correct. Yes. So you could take.
Are they the only ones that can do that, or is that just
any Legion army can do that if they have a Cortex controller on like a Forge Lord or a Tech Marine?
Okay, I see.
Yes, so I think you can just have a Tech Marine Covenant with like one Tech Marine with a Cortex controller, and then, well, it might only be the Forge Lord actually. Now I'm thinking about it. But in any case, they can also get they get stubborn in their deployment zone through that Rite of War, and they get a couple of other sort of like bits and bobs, which are pretty great.
Yeah.
And being able to put Ferrus Manus on the table, he's one of the most hardcore, heavy swinging Primarchs of them all.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, like I was at a tournament. I was just watching a tournament last year where somebody had the only Primarch of the tournament was Perturabo.
Yep.
And he had his he was using Ferrus Manus's hammer that fucking Fulgrim stole off him.
Yeah.
And Perturabo was just smashing his way through everything on the table. It was awesome. Oh, you played that guy, didn't you? Yeah. It was so cool. Ever since then, I've just been like, oh man, I need to get Ferrus Manus on the table. Holy shit!
Because he strikes at initiative.
Yeah,
with
he's
that
going
goddamn
initiative
hammer.
5 with that fucking strength 10 AP1 hammer. Boom! Just crushing dudes into dust. It's fucking so shit hot. So yeah, I want to run that guy. So I've got that model. I've got 2 tactical squads. The basic Iron Hands rules are really shit hot as well, like -1 strength to all shooting.
That's
against
amazing,
them.
yeah. So that makes what, a bolted wounding on 5+.
Yeah, bolt is only wounding on a 5.
Yep.
And if you're shooting at Ferrus Manus with a bolt gun, it goes to strength 3, and he's toughness 7, so you can't even wound him. Can't wound him with small arms. You try and just run out and Jack Ruby him with a bolt pistol, and it just bounces straight off him. He just laughs at you. Just crush you with his metal hands. So yeah, I've got what else do I have? I've got a Predator. I've got a Demos pattern Predator. I've got the kit that has the heavy conversion beamer.
Yep.
Or the what's the other weapon? I'm drawing a blank.
There's a Plasma
Oh
Annihilator.
yeah, Plasma Executioner.
Yeah, that's it. Execution. I was going to say Annihilator, but yeah.
So yeah, that's really shit hot. That model is not only is it a sick model, but you can also, if you give a Predator in 30k a Machine Spirit, can you give Machine Spirits to Predators in 40k?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure that you can. Well, in any case, let you move 12 inches and fire that Executioner cannon. So you can just drive it down the side of the table, just raining havoc
good.
on people. Drive it down your baseline, just drive away from people, just shooting them with plasma. It's so sick.
Keep away.
So yeah, those are the models I've got. Oh, and I've also got enough guys to make a unit of Legion 3 Mark III destroyers. Sorry,
Nice.
Legion 3. Legion 3 is Fulgrim's guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, sorry, Mark 3.
Mark 3
destroyers. Yeah. So I've got to convert up a Praetor with that Grav Gauntlet.
Oh, from the artifact
relic.
from Book 4. Yeah.
It's so good. And that's that's my that's probably just over 1,000 points. I'd say it might be 1,250. I haven't really sort of
done the maths. Yeah.
I did
Just
draw
ballparked
up
it.
some exploratory lists, but I've bought some different stuff since.
But I mean, it's important to have an idea when you do initially draw up your army, is to have an idea how you're going to use it.
Yeah.
Now, Tim's got a really good idea about his Rite of War and Manus Ferris with destroyers and tanks. You're looking at me blankly.
Oh no. Yeah, no, that's what I'm doing. But I'm also gonna
because the tank full of destroyers can outflank.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They can outflank in that. That Ferrus Manus can go in the. I'm going to put a Phobos Spartan Land Raider in there as well. So
which is a good idea. So
Ferrus Manus can ride in that and assault out of it, which is pretty savage. And also I can take Castellax and Vorax as as elite choices. So I can easily just grab some of my Mechanicum stuff and boost that up to 2,500 if I need to. Well, I'd probably need to run Ferrus, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so that's where we'd start with our new armies.
Yeah,
like
So we had some basic ideas, right?
Yeah, we just don't do what we did initially back in the day. Is go out and buy everything you think you're going to want, because it probably won't be a legal army, and you want something you can play with at early points costs.
Yeah, because especially once you start playing in some campaign days or campaign sort of weekends, that sort of thing, you'll be really glad that you bought all of that stuff, like bought enough stuff for an army.
Yeah. Now, I got a question, Tim.
Yep.
What if I want to play a Dark Angels army and my Legion's not released yet?
Oh, okay. So there is rules built in the Space Marine. I think it must be in the campaign book, the Red Book. So if you have a Legion that hasn't been released, you can choose. Basically, you just get the Legion Astartes rule, which is you can always regroup.
Yep.
And you also get you can either if it's a Legion that there aren't rules for, you can choose out of Furious Charge.
Yep.
For all the models with Legion Astartes, or you can have Stubborn, like Army Word Stubborn.
So that's pretty good. I like that, because
decent.
If you want to do Dark Angels, that Stubborn special rule is fantastic. But at the same time, I guess if you wanted to do White Scars, Furious Charge is fantastic on that also.
Space Wars. Want to do Space
anything.
Wars. Probably the only Legion that you couldn't really model that well would be, Thousand Suns?
I think, if I was going to start an army, I'd definitely stay away from Thousand Suns at the moment, because I think whatever comes out is going to be totally out of left field and completely different to what's kicking around already.
You don't reckon they'll just have basic guys with bolt guns and Predators and shit?
I think they will to an extent.
They won't have any just two-man tack squads?
Nah, I think
Two 10-man
that's the thing. I've heard so many different things. So I don't know. So that's just one thing I'd stay away from, because you might buy all these awesome models, waiting to do Thousand Suns, paint them all up, and then you can't use them because their force org's totally different or their squad structure's totally different, and you're like, I should have waited. Yeah. But I mean, there's a couple you can preempt. Everyone knows that, like, Dark Angels are black back then, and they run. There's no Raven Wing, there's no Death Wing, so you're pretty fine painting your Terminators black, your Tax black, and then going from there, and then seeing what special units they get once the book comes out, and adding those to the force you've got already.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope that's cleared up. It's probably just confused people.
I hope not. So let's do a summary, a real quick summary.
So the summary is...
Start at the books.
Yeah,
know what you want.
I literally have no models, I've got no books, I play normal 40k or I play fantasy, and I'm like, man, Horus Heresy is awesome. I really love, let's say, Alpha Legion.
Yep.
I think the Alpha Legion background's really radical, which it is, guys. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to get first of all, I've read about the Alpha Legion in my mate's books, or I bought the books myself.
Yep.
Which is, if you can afford them, just go and buy
Well,
them.
there's an awesome bundle called the Conquest Campaign Collection, and it's basically every army list in the game. It's the 2 red books plus book 4.
Oh, okay.
So that's all your army lists,
Yeah.
apart from some of the mechanical ones,
Yeah.
in that bundle.
Oh, that's cool. So you get the SA, the Knights, and yeah. All right,
And
cool.
all the Legion.
So you've got those. Then you want to go out and start and draw up like a small list. Draw up like I would say. What do you reckon? I'm sort of drawing. I've been drawing up 12.
I'd say
50 point
1250,
list.
yeah.
I think you should do a 1500 straight up.
I'd plan for it, but probably maybe even just buy your first 1,000 points first or something. I don't know.
Or organize with somebody else in your group. And
Yeah,
say,
it'd be good if you're doing it with someone and you both make up 1,000-point forces, so you can actually play test against each other. So you can go. There's nothing worse than making like a 2,000-point army, bring it nicely painted, and it doesn't work, and you're like, what the hell went wrong?
Yeah, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I'm just fumbling around. Although that teaches you a lot about the game.
Yeah, the hard way.
Don't want to have my pants pulled down. All right, so if you don't want to have your pants pulled down, you need to get the list. You need to draw up a list, draw up a 1250, draw up a 1500, organize with one of your friends. Like, we're both going to do 1250, we're both going to do 1500. Look around, see if there's like a campaign day coming up in your area. That's probably good. That's the way that I paint my armies. Is I find out there's a campaign day coming up
Deadlines
in
are good.
2 months' time, and I'm like, oh shit, I've got to paint stuff up. So that's the best way to get motivated, I think. Give yourself like a definite deadline.
Set goals. Yep.
Yeah. That's pretty easy though. Like, you're just buying a couple of books, buying the models, painting them up. If you can't do that, what? You just lack discipline?
You lack discipline!
Yeah, and there's a couple of good bundles here, like complete. I know some of the Forge World stuff is you just buy Mark IV bodies, and you don't get bolters, you don't get command sets, and you have to sort of piece it together yourself.
Okay.
So there's a couple of bundles here.
Oh,
just
there's
for
bundles, yeah.
10 Space Marines, you get 10 bolters, 10 Space Marines, and a command set. So it doesn't get much easier than that, pretty much.
Yeah, there's some deals there with like rhinos and stuff as well, right? Like Armored Assault, and there's some drop pod ones maybe.
Not that I can... Oh, actually, there's 3 pages of them, so quite possibly I haven't been through them all.
Yeah, cruise those deals, guys. Like, those deals are pretty good.
And the bundles for the upgrades, because some of the Legions actually come with... You can get resin upgrade sets for them now.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're different and Legion specific.
Yeah.
And they're just only coming out more and more. So yeah, for like you can get a bundle that's 10 Space Marines and a Rhino. I mean, pretty much 2 of those bundles and a character, and you've nearly got 1,000 points there, I guess. Add in 1 or 2 new things that you like a Contemptor or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Tempter Talon.
I'd keep it pretty simple and pretty generic for your first sort of 1,500 points. So you can either ally your detachment to something else or have something allied to it. I mean, you might not even like it. You play a few games and you're like, going straight to Mechanicum.
Yeah.
Give me my toughness 7 robots.
Yeah, also Solar Auxilia as well. Like, they're a pretty good allying force. They've got a bunch of hard hitters like those Le Mans Rosses and those sort of things. So, yeah, I think if it was me, I'd go for 1,500 points straight up.
Yep.
Like, I think I said that in the first podcast. Like, go for 1,500 points. You can always tone it down for 1,000 points or 1,250 points if you're playing on a whole bunch of games on 4x4s. You've got your 1,500 points covered, and then to get to 2,000, you can chuck in a Primarch straight up, and some of the super heavies, and that's got you to 2,000.
Yeah, like Typhon's nice and cheap.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you're going to 2,500, you could chuck in a Primarch and then chuck in a unit of Castellax, tooled up Castellax with Darkfire Lances. Yeah. If you really want to like put the hammer to someone. Okay, well I think that's everything.
Yeah, look, if you guys have got any more questions about starting off in Heresy, drop us a line. We're more than happy to help. And this is just our opinion and our 2 cents worth.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. We just like getting our models on the table and blowing people up.
Yeah. We started off a lot more haphazardly than this.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
learn from us.
That's what I've learned. The biggest takeaway is if you want to play in the campaign days, and you pretty much want to because they're always shit hot. They're popping up like all around the world. You just want to get an army which you can actually use.
Yeah.
In a
Legal.
1,500 point or less game.
If you're totally new to the hobby, nice and simple. before you get into anything too advanced, and go from there.
Yeah. I think we've just done a whole bunch of no shit Sherlock stuff, but there possibly are people out there.
Yeah, well, that's right. There's no starter box to really help, so you're gonna have to go from scratch. So take what you will from our ramblings.
All right, let's go into musical interlude. I think we've finished the first half now. It's time to get some more beers, and we'll come back with Vengeful Spirit. Okay, we are back. So we had a break, had a couple of more beers. We were talking to Ajax, who's been sitting here.
Yeah, we had a really good question.
And yeah, he's come up with some questions just about the Mark III, Mark IV, Mark II armor.
Yeah.
There's also, what, Mark 7?
Yeah, Mark 2 through 7 currently, 8.
Mark 7 wasn't in use though, was it?
And
Oh,
yeah,
it was.
7 and
right.
7 right at the end. There's it's a controversial topic.
There's a massive debate. We're not going to get into that. What we're going to say is what we think looks cool. I think for my army, because it's an extermination force. I've got a lot of destroyers. I've got Vorax. I want to make the army look like dudes who enter like Zone Mortalis areas and just fucking put boot to ass. So I want to go with Mark 3 for all of those guys in my army. What about yours?
Mark 3. I just love Mark 3. It just looks. I think it looks awesome.
Yeah.
So
but in your Emperor's Children army though, because they're a swift elite force.
I'm going for something nice, clean, and sleek. So I'm going to go Mark 4.
So you're going Mark 4 for that, and that's just like an aesthetic. like
There's no
reason, right? Like, there's no
exactly,
background.
aesthetics.
Like you can get Mark II jump packs.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
could
I
do the
think
whole army in Mark II if you wanted.
Yeah,
but
there's no hard and fast rules, but I think
But using Forge World as a guide, right? Like they've Palatine blades are clearly in modified Mark
4.
Mark 4.
Yeah.
So like you just follow the aesthetic that Forge World's
exactly.
set
Whatever
up.
you're going for.
Because,
yeah.
Yeah. I would try and I prefer to match all the marks in an army. Otherwise, it looks a bit like sort of piecemeal. I guess if I was outlining in another Legion, I might go put them in different marks or something just to differentiate them a bit. But if I'm doing an army, I like to have just like a coherent visual sort of look to it. So I like to go I'm going to go more Mark 3.
I'm toying.
I might do Mark 2
with we're toying with the idea at the moment of having you know how the Emperor's Children got down to like so few members at one stage of the heresy. It was like 200 of them. And they rebuilt.
300,
having those veterans as sergeants, but having them in like Mark 2 leading squads of Mark 4. That's just something I'm toying with.
That's what you're doing?
No, it's something I'm toying with. Just to make that veteran, like he's one of the original ones leading squads of these new guys. And obviously in a newer armor.
I've got an idea for you. Make a command squad of dudes with like elite sergeant weapons with jump packs in Mark 2.
That's a good idea.
And then if you're not, because like you very rarely run a command squad, right? Like just
very rarely.
So you can use those guys if you want as veteran sergeants for the units.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, I might actually run a command squad with the Emperor's Children. The way my fluff's
planning.
But I think the only real hard and fast rule that's not really a rule is there's no jump packs with Mark 3.
Yeah,
because
correct,
it's reinforced heavier versions of Mark 2.
So that's basically the only thing.
Yeah, I'd run
That's
anything.
the only guiding rule.
Some units,
like you can get into the whole politics of it, like, oh yeah, but my Legion, it's quite clearly set down that they only captured Mark 4 units after the drop site. Yeah, Massacre, like,
The only rules I'd go, if I was going early Crusade, I'd go Mark 2s and 3s. If I was going later, I'd probably maybe go 4, 5, 6 maybe, as a rough rule. But some Legions look better. I think Raven Guard look better with the Mark 6, and that's the big helmet for anyone who's not sure.
And stay away from being a neckbeard about it, maybe.
Yeah.
That's my advice to the listeners. Stop being a neckbeard about it.
And probably stay away from Mark 7 and 8.
That's cool. Like, yeah, bro, like the background that your army only got a certain mark of armor at a certain time, that is cool. That's an interesting point, but
don't let it inhibit you.
You're never going to write like, write 500 points about 500 points. Write 500 words about your army. You're not going to include that, are you? Like, surely there's more heroic shit that they did other than just like going to like a supply depot somewhere and picking up certain suits of armor.
I think.
That's better chronicle that.
Oh, there is a cool story how some Imperial Fists bring the Raven Guard a whole heap of Mark 6.
Oh, really?
I just like it because it's Imperial Fists.
Are the Imperial Fists, are they what are they? Just cargo marines?
Pretty much.
Guarding some
they actually
cargo?
turn up on just a ship holding all this armor and go, hey bro, remember me?
Like holding it?
Yeah, well,
in
the
crates
ship.
and shit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Right, okay. And then what happens? Just like...
and they're best of friends forever. They got off to a rocky start. I think it's Deliverance Lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Oh, so the Raven Guard and Imperial Fists are BFFs.
To paraphrase, there's a bit of a
cultural exchange.
Bit of a cultural exchange, and some Imperial Fists do get tasked with delivering them a new mark of armor, and then decide to stay with them to go put boot to ass, as you like to say.
Yeah. All right. Okay, cool. So I think we put that to bed, right? Just
so
choose
the rule
whichever
is,
armor you
looks
think
cool,
looks the best.
whatever you want.
Yeah, don't let the fluff hold you hostage. Like,
yeah.
You can do whatever you want, man.
Yeah.
Like I'll still play against you as long as your shit's fully painted. I will still play against you. The worst thing ever is people who are like finicky about some minor detail like that, and then just like, well, why don't you just fucking paint your army instead of just, I don't know, trying to rectify the fluff in your brain? Like, as long as your shit's fully painted and you've got like a half decent coherent storyline, so that I can write down your general's name in my battle report when I put it up on Imgur. Good
Done.
to go. All right, moving along.
Something completely different.
Let's get into Vengeful Spirit.
Now, I haven't actually read this book.
Okay, it's a Graham McNeil book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the page count is. And just as a brief overview, it's Horus, and Fulgrim is hanging out with him.
Sweet.
I don't think Fulgrim's Legion is with him for some reason. I think Fulgrim's going on a diplomatic mission this time. Mortarian's there as well, and I think the Death Guard are with him.
Yeah.
So it's the Death Guard and Horus, right?
It's a bit of an all-star weekend affair.
Yeah. So earlier, sort of off screen, there was some kind of thing that the Emperor did where there's this special planet. The Emperor, like, I'm not going to give away spoilers. I might just sort of talk about a few sort of general things. Like, I'll just give it like a brief overview. This isn't giving away any spoilers. No, it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not. This is all stuff that happened in like the first.
Well, I haven't read it, so I'll
10
tell you to
pages of the
stop
book.
if I think it's good.
This is if you pick up the book and read the first like 10 pages, you can probably find this out. But okay, so the Emperor does some like magical thing on this planet, right? Just in the middle, just in the sort of off in the galaxy somewhere.
Yep.
And that somehow whatever he did on this planet somehow meant that he like gave him great power or something like that. So Horus he finds out this information, and Horus is like, man, I've got to find out what happened to that tower, because there's a huge Imperial army there, like the Emperor. So obviously something happens there. It's not really like made explicit straight away.
Yep.
And the Emperor went there and then traveled back to Earth, and Horus wants to find out why, right?
Obviously, yeah.
Because and also the Emperor was like, hey, you could put like a huge fucking mega army there. There's also a night house on the planet.
Why, Dad?
There's
I can't tell you.
guys. Yeah, exactly. I think he mind wipes some guys as well. They mind wipe some of the Primarchs. It might have been that. Anyway, so let's close our eyes.
All right.
I want you to close your eyes, and then just just imagine this scene, right? So this is something that happens, maybe.
Is that you touching me?
No, I'm over this side of the table. Maybe Ajax touching you. Okay, so there's a tower top, right? And so there's a tower top. Horus is there. Mortarian's there.
Yep.
He's all stinky, I'm guessing. And Fulgrim's there, right? And remember, this isn't like Fulgrim.
Snake body.
Like
Fulgrim?
the model. This isn't the model you've got. This is like snake-bodied Fulgrim.
Oh, it is snake body. Fulgrim.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sweet.
So Fulgrim and Perturabo have gone into the Eye of Terror. Fucking shit happened there. So a bit of next level shit happened there. And now, Fulgrim's like, he's got a snake body. He can do like magic, like space magic.
That's hot.
All right, get in people's minds, like invade dreams and stuff. Okay, so they're all there. All three of them are just like hanging out on this tower top, right? Just like having a chat. And then like, oh shit, what's that noise? Oh, it's 3 jets. These 3 jets like rise up above like the tower, and then just like start firing like massive Gatling guns. They're fire raptors.
Yes.
These are models that you can have in the game. It's awesome. If you want to reenact this scene, you should totally do a battle report and send it in to me. So these 3 fire raptors appear. They're Iron Hands fire raptors. This Iron Hands.
I can see why you like this bit.
Yeah, this Iron Hands Praetor guy is left behind this assassination team of jets. So they're like, wah! All these rounds are just like flying in. Fulgrim, he's always quick to act, right?
Yeah.
He's like claps his hands together, wah! And like uses like telekinesis, just like crushes one of the fire raptors, just like collapses, like explodes, and it's just crinkles the hull, right? And it just like falls out of sight. Oh shit!
So now there's 2 jets.
Yeah, there's 2 fire raptors. One of them is like firing at Mortarion. Mortarion's on the fire. He's taking rounds, like ting ting ting, pattering up his armor. The whole floor's getting like leveled by all these like fucking just chain gun shots all through there. I think Abaddon is like hanging out on the stairwell, just hiding. Like, what the fuck's going on? This is a Primarch level encounter. Mortarion's like taking rounds, and he's like, "Don't worry, I'll deal with you." Pulls out like his, his war scythe, that huge scythe he's got.
Yep.
And you know how it's got like a chain attached to it?
I do now.
Yeah. So he throws that at the fire raptor, like, woof, 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 and like catches on the fire raptor. The fire raptor's just like, wah, firing off. Suddenly it's just firing like off into space. Mortarion's like, I'm gonna haul you in. You're coming with me. So it's like hauling in, hauling in a jet. Horus is like the next one to act, right? But he's probably he's swifter than Mortarion, but he probably waited to see what Mortarion did, right? He's like, oh, interesting. Mortarion, like, I'm using my strategic level abilities to analyze the battlefield. I knew Mortarion would do something like that. Horus just like pulls out his mace, like World Breaker.
Yep.
Leaps off the edge, wah, lands on top of the fire raptor that Mortarion has harpooned.
Okay.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! He's like he lands on his back. He's like, whoa, gotta steady myself. Oh, his arms are out. World breakers. He's just like, but then
What next?
he uses the momentum of him like, whoa, to just swing World Break around. Huge double-handed. His hands meet at the top, and then he goes double-handed. Crushes the cockpit of the Fire Raptor. Ah!
So what's gonna happen now? He's obviously going down with the ship.
No. Because it's Horus's turn again. So he leaps. So this Fire Raptor is starting to fall. You know, have you seen that scene in the latest Hobbit movie where Legolas runs across like falling rocks?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Horus basically does that off a jet, lands on top of the second Fire Raptor. Crunch.
Okay.
But the important thing is, as he was leaping off the original jet, because that first jet had just like drilled Mortarion had let go of the chain, so it was just swinging. So luckily, Horus just like cartwheels or something, I guess. Does a cartwheel down the length of it? Yeah, it does a matrix. Rips the scythe out of the side. So he's got, not only does he have Worldbreaker, he's also got Mortarion's weapon. Is it Silence?
I couldn't tell you, but that's a cool name.
He's got Mortarion's scythe in one hand, Worldbreaker in the other, cartwheels, lands on the other Fire Raptor, crunch, okay, whoa, steadies himself, and then does a massive like downward Russell Crowe Gladiator decapitation, double-sided, whoa, I hit the mic again, sorry, hits the Fire Raptor from both sides, crushes it, and then, as it's falling, does another cartwheel, leap, swan dive, lands back, because like obviously when Horus jumped on it, it must have been moving away from him or something, so it's gone higher. Horus just crushes the middle, cuts it in half basically, I'm pretty sure. Jumps off the back bit that he's standing on, onto the front bit, leapfrogs off that as it's falling, Legolas style. Lands back in the tower, does a somersault, drops his weapons, grabs Mortarion, puts his hand behind his head and says, "Oh friend, are you okay?"
And that's it. That's encounter finished.
So that's
that is a Primarch level encounter.
Yep, that's just a taste of the Primarch level encounters that are to come. There's some really interesting bits in this book. I'm not going to get in. I'm not going to give any spoilers in my reviews. I just
apart from the jet encounter.
Yeah. Well, you never thought like 3 Fire Raptors were going to kill 3 Primarchs, right?
I don't know.
You got 2+8.
Yeah,
man.
you're right.
Fucking tank that shit all day.
You're right.
Yeah, there's a few sort of interesting parts in this. There's a bit where Leman Russ is playing chess with Malkador the Sigillite. Just
that's
like
a different take on Leman Russ.
Playing future chess. So I think it's like 2 boards, or 1 grav board, or 2 grav board. I don't know what it is. Regicide. I'm not entirely sure how that game works. I'm imagining it's either chess or it's like
future chess,
Star Trek style, like future chess. Okay. So yeah. So it's an interesting book. It doesn't really... There's a couple of sort of like, whoa, interesting sort of side tidbit.
Yeah.
But it's not really like the whole story is not really like pivotal in the entire book series, I don't think.
Just a few tasty tidbits.
Yeah, it's got some just totally loco things that happen. So it's definitely worth it just to read those. And so if you're into Horus, if you're into Fulgrim, if you're into Mortarion isn't really in it that much. Fulgrim's in a little bit. If you're into Abaddon, there's lots of Abaddon action for you 40k guys.
Do you like Abaddon?
There's some good knight action. There's a knight family on this planet, and they get like during part of the story is they're getting perverted by you know what I mean. They're getting perverted, right?
Yeah, they're getting corrupted.
So one of the knights, like the sort of the son of the, one of the knights has a huge like mega whip. Whoosh. So you can probably imagine which one of the chaos gods sort of gets caught up with those guys.
50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, something like that. 50 Shades of Pink. Okay, cool. So that's my review. I would say, if you're following the storyline along, and you're like into every single little facet, and you want to know every single little piece for the quizzes and that sort of thing,
Yeah,
you know, it's worth it. I listened to the last part of it as an audiobook, so it's kind of like a podcast, but you should listen to the podcast before you listen to audiobooks, of course.
There's
Don't go
extensive
down,
review.
Yeah, don't go down that road. But yeah, no, the audiobooks are pretty decent. I've got the latest book, Unremembered. Well, it's not the latest, but the latest book that I've got is Unremembered Empire, so I'm gonna listen to that this week. But yeah, Vengeful Spirit. If you, yeah, it's not gonna give you really. Oh, it'll give you insight into the Sons of Horus as well, I guess. So yeah, it's worth it if you're really into the background. But if you're into just sort of like following the storyline, just put it in the back burner for a bit and read some other ones. I think Unremembered Empire is going to be like a pivotal one that sort of ties up a lot of stories.
Yeah,
like
I'm looking forward
John
to reading
Grammaticus
that.
and
Working up to it, yeah.
and Vulcan, like what happens with Vulcan and Sanguinius and all those sort of guys, Sanguinus. So yeah, looking forward to that one. But yeah, I'm not going to give it a rating or anything like that. Just
I was going to ask you, how many Fire Raptor Rex out of 5?
Well, all 3 were wrecked. Yeah, I don't know. You've got my 2 cents. I don't think there's no point. I don't think there's a point in sort of giving it just like a rating. It is what it is. It's if it was like one of the like king shit books, I would definitely fucking tell you. But no, it's good. It's decent. It's got some totally crazy moments.
Looking forward to reading it.
Yep.
Eventually. I'm such a slow reader, and I'm reading them all in order. So.
Oh, all in order.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Shit.
I've started rereading them, and I'm up to some of the ones I haven't read yet. I'm up to Fear to Tread, so I'm halfway through that.
Oh, okay. Christ almighty. When did you get the audiobooks?
I can't do audiobooks. I don't know why. I never got into them, and to be honest, I've never listened to much more than probably 20 minutes of one.
Oh, really?
Mm.
It's just like a podcast, though, isn't it?
I don't know. I just prefer to read. I really like to read when I get the time. Except that's probably the last of my priorities at the moment. So. Jeez,
all right. If you want to be a square, you get the books. No, I'm just kidding. The books are pretty great too. Like I read most of Vengeful Spirit in book form, and then I was like, oh shit, I just don't have time to read the book. But I drive to work, so it's like an hour. Or just an hour and a half or something like that each day.
Good use of the time.
So listen to the last bit of that. It's pretty great. I'll probably just listen to Unremembered Empire this week as well during the drive and check that out. That sounds like a pretty great one. And then we might get Spencer on next week to talk about it over Skype maybe. Because he's like into that book. He's just like, dude, you have to fucking read it. He's been telling me, I don't know, since it came out pretty much. He's just like, dude, this is the most loco of all loco books. It's got Nighthunter in it.
Yes.
It's got a whole bunch of just fucking insane shit. So, all right, cool. Let's get on to Army Expose.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're Imperial Fist.
Yeah.
You started these guys just because you want to paint yellow. We all know that. That's established.
Yeah. Back in book 1, when I first got into it, introduced to
now
heresy.
somehow you struck the goddamn jackpot with this army because
yeah.
like 6 months before the Imperial Fist rules even dropped. Did you just like have lunch with Alan Bly and just go like, "Hey man, what's Imperial Fist?
Yeah.
What are they gonna have?" And he's like, "Breachers. I can't say much more other than breachers." And
well, that's an example of picking an army based on a hobby challenge, or the paint yellow, and just liking the models because breachers are unique to 30k. I was like, I really, really love the look of them. I'm gonna do my first squad is gonna be 15 of those.
Yeah. Okay. So. Before the army list dropped, you were like, I'm going to have a massive breacher army, I'm going to have a fucking Spartan.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of stuff that I already predetermined.
Contemptor Talon.
Yeah, models I liked that turned out to be really good in game. So I was like...
Yeah, and then the list broke, and what, they just... they made
a special list. A million times better.
So they made a specific breacher list to represent what breaching boarding teams at Fall?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Foul?
I guess not necessarily at Foul, but yeah, Forlorn Hopes, that kind of thing, like insane breaches going into the Forlorn Hopes, breaching starships.
And it's called the Stone Gauntlet.
Stone Gauntlet.
So just quickly run through what that does for your army. So you've got, how many breaches have you got, first of all? How many models?
At the moment, I've got 30 painted up.
Yep.
2 squads of 15. And I've got another 20 at home to turn into Mark III Phalnax Warders.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Phalanx Warders.
Because I want Mark III to keep my whole army standard.
Okay, so They've got boarding. They've got void hardened armor.
Yep.
They're in Mark 3. They've got a boarding shield, bolt
Yep.
gun. 1 in 3 has a special weapon.
Yeah, 1 in every 5 can have.
1 in 5.
For
Sorry.
breaches, yeah, can have
Yep.
either a melter or a grav gun.
And they can all take melter bombs if
And
they
they
want.
can all take melter bombs. Expensive, but I tell you what, damn worth it.
Yeah. And then Stone Gauntlet, Rite of War. How does it affect them?
Basically, everyone with a sporting shield that has somebody within 2 inches gets +1 toughness, provided they don't run or charge that turn.
Whoa.
A
Okay.
sweeping advance.
So they the void hardened armor combined with the shield, is it? That
Yep,
gives
so-
you a reroll on
Yeah, the shield
collisions and
gives
stuff.
you a 6+ invuln from shooting.
Yep.
A 5+ in close combat, which is excellent combined with melter bombs, like
Yep.
fighting things like Castellax, which work really well.
Mhm.
The shield gives them also defensive grenades. So if you get charged, you lose your extra attack or attacks if you've got rampage or something for charging.
Yep.
And also you can use the launcher on the front to fire 1 blind grenade in the shooting phase,
Whoa.
which I didn't really rate.
Mm.
But after you start fighting Castellax and Thralax that have got initiative 2 and 3,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Being able to blind them.
Yeah.
Also, units that have improvisers as well. I'm pretty sure they have to re-roll past blind checks.
Oh, because of the flash, yeah.
Yeah, just in case it ever comes up. Because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's some Mechanicum units that can take them.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a pretty good rule. Like I was using in that last game I played was against Sean's Orcs, and because they're only initiative 2 dickheads, those blind shots on my photon thrusters were just fucking them up. Like they couldn't do anything. They just became
So good, 'cause
even
it
shitter
makes
at
you,
shooting than they already
ballistic skill, weapon skill 1. So if
Yeah.
you're going to charge in next turn,
are.
and you're not hitting on 3s already, now you're hitting on 3s and they're only hitting you
Yeah.
back on
Yeah,
5,
that's
6s.
So, that's so powerful.
It's good.
Yeah, it's great. Do you only have to take 1 blind check per phase? Like, what happens if you have? Can you just blast someone with like 5 turns of 5 lots of shooting, and they have to take a blind test each
Well,
turn, or is it at the end
that's
of
a
the
good
phase?
question. I think for each hit,
Man, we're driving 40k nerds fucking
yeah,
insane
without
right now.
lack of
Like,
knowledge. No, I think if
Fucking
two,
idiots.
2 squads fire 2 blind grenades, because you can only throw 1 grenade per squad.
yeah.
So if you put 2 grenades onto the 1 squad, they take
Oh, yeah, no,
2
I mean-
tests.
Oh, do they?
So it's from 2 different squads because it's 2 different shooting attacks.
okay,
If they
yeah.
pass the first one,
Yeah.
that's cool, but then they still have
Oh
to take
man,
the
that's
second.
good. Because I've got all those Thalax with photon thrusters, so I can just force a whole bunch of blind checks. Man, sooner or later, Marines are going to fail that. It's 5-6 they fail.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh,
right.
that's a good strat. Need to remember that one. Put it into the old brain bank. Okay, so it's a sick army. Let's go through what you've got.
Yeah, sure.
So we'll start with the HQ. You've got a Praetor. You've got
Yep.
you've got an Apothecary
Yep.
Lord. So he's the Medicae Primus.
Yep, that's right.
And you've got a Master of Signals.
Yeah, Master of Signals was my original. In my first 1,000 points, I only had
Yep.
1 squad of breaches, a squad of tactical marines, and the Master of Signals.
Yep.
And at that stage, the Rite of War wasn't out, and wasn't intending on running it. So now my general, to take the Rite of War, you've got to take a Praetor.
Mm-hmm.
So-
I remember for ages we were playing games and you were like, man, once I get my Praetor fucking painted, I
Yeah,
can finally run Stone Gauntlet. You guys are fucked.
it was amazing.
And we were like, nah, you're just fucking around. But yeah, it turned out exactly as you said.
Yeah, so the Praetor is pretty good because, importantly, Imperial Fists have access to Storm Shields because they've got prototype Indominus armor, assault cannons, and Storm
Yeah.
Shields.
Yeah.
And so a Storm Shield pretty much works the same way as a boarding shield for the Stone Gauntlet. So
Yep.
if he's in a squad of breaches or a squad of Terminators with Storm Shield, he becomes toughness 5.
Oh.
So he's toughness 5 with a 2+ Terminator save and a 3+ Invon from a Storm Shield.
Yeah. And then Imperial Fist rules give him fucking the challenge.
Yeah, the challenge rule. So
Challenge
he must
special rule.
always issue a challenge,
Yep.
but for Imperial Fists, if any of your characters are in a challenge, you must re-roll or fail to hits in close combat while you're in a challenge.
Just for free. Is that
Just
just the first turn or is it all the time?
Not all the time, as long as you're in
Ah.
a challenge.
Fuck, man. Like, Hatred, on my Mechanicum guy who has Hatred is just so much better than any other Archmagos, just because of Hatred.
Yeah.
Because it gives it to a whole unit of Myrmidons or whatever. Like, having just him on his own, just your character being able to reroll to hit, like, do you ever just lose a duel against anyone else? Like,
I can't. No, I don't think I've
'cause he's
lost
got
one.
a
I think
Paragon Blade as well, right?
he's got a Paragon Blade, which is fucking handy as shit. It saved
Yeah.
my ass so
Yeah,
many
one of
times.
the
Like
best
against your
items,
Castellax that day, how he just beheaded like 2 of them and was
Yeah.
like, job done.
Best item in the game, right? Just being able to just do huge fucking decapitation
Yeah.
attacks.
And well, with
Love
book
it.
4, the Praetor's only gotten better because now there's an item for Imperial Fists that
Yep.
give him Eternal Warrior. So now he can run in. The only thing that used to worry me was Strength 10 stuff because that would still auto kill him.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, just stomp him or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like dreadnoughts and stuff.
But now it's just like, yeah, nice Strength 10, bro. Yeah, you did 1 wound to me.
Ah.
Boom.
But that doesn't work against a Paragon Blade, right?
I don't think so. I think a Paragon Blade.
Oh, no, Paragon
No, yeah,
Blade's
it's
just
instant
instant
death.
death.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it's
so
only 1 wound.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. So he counteracts that. Oh, man.
So he's not going anywhere. He's just gotten better.
That made like Salamander's players get pissed, right? Because
It did
they
because
used to be the
they were
only
like,
people
I've
with-
got the only Eternal Warrior thing.
Yeah. Oh man, but
It's expensive. It's 50
Yeah.
points, but I'm still taking it in big games because that's king shit.
yeah, I don't think I've killed that guy in our last game. What happened?
I've only lost him like a handful of times.
Yeah,
And
I think
it's-
I've taken him. I've taken 2 wounds off him. Is my max? I'm pretty sure.
yeah, and then he schooled the Martian.
Yeah.
I think got lucky. Got a lucky 6. Got through.
Oh god. Yeah. So he's just a tremendous fucking destroyer. Apothecary Primaris.
Yeah, that goes hand. The way I run my army, that goes hand in hand with him.
Yeah.
So he travels around in the same squad, and he's
So these guys are both in Terminator armor.
both in Terminator armor. I think the model will be up on the gallery, but I've made it. It's a bit of a conversion from the Iron Father, and the whole theme behind it is he's in prototype Indominus armor. So that's why he's
Yeah.
got the normal Terminator head, because I think that's Indominus in 40k,
Yeah.
and it was just getting developed when the Heresy came.
Yeah.
And he's got a Thunderhammer Storm Shield, and basically he's an apothecary, so that gives the Praetor in his squad feel no pain.
Yeah.
And so the
right.
good thing is, because they're all toughness 5, they still get their feel no pain against power fists and things like that. So you got to be strength 10 to actually like ignore the whole feel no pain thing.
And they're driving around in.
A Spartan.
So this is like a super sick Spartan. We're gonna put pictures up, so make sure you go onto the Facebook and go to the show notes there and click on the on Michael's army list. This Spartan looks pretty great. You're not happy with it though? You're gonna
Yeah, I kind of went a bit too nuts with the orange powder, and you can see
on the tracks.
on the tracks.
Yeah.
I didn't really get the effect I wanted, and I didn't think about when I brushed it off, all the powder going everywhere, and it's actually stained the vehicle an off yellow. And if you look at it carefully, it doesn't really match the tone of the rest of the army.
Yeah.
So I want to do all the. I've learned a whole heap from that, so I want to do them all so they look the same.
Right. Okay. So we've got we've got Legolas and Gimli, the 2
Pretty
Terminator
much,
guys, just going around.
Just hang out together.
Having epic adventures. They're with a unit of breaches usually, 15 breaches.
Yep. At the
Yep.
moment, they're cruising around with 15 breaches, which is a pretty good combination.
Driving around in Spartan. Okay,
Yep.
so that's just like a tremendous. So that's part of your army. Basically, that's like a parcel. Like that just drives
Yep.
forward and just blasts everything.
Pretty
with-
much, I've
with
lost my
quad
entire
lance
army
cannons.
apart from that vehicle, and still managed to pull back a win because it's just harsh as
Spartan's,
shit.
Spartan's a tremendous beat stick. So that's part of your army. I'm always worried about that. Just doing like a spearhead, sort of just like a Alexander the Great companion cavalry style heart stab. And then the rest of your army, you've got another unit of breaches. What do they
Yep.
do? Just hang out on foot. And
Pretty
you've also
much,
got
yeah.
some tacticals sometimes in bigger games.
Yeah, in bigger games, I like to just run tacticals, but usually the second breaches, they've got an apothecary with the squad, just a power armored one from the
Yep.
elite's choice, and they just hang out securing objectives back in the back line.
Yeah, so those guys can sit in ruins, and they're getting a cover save, right?
Yeah,
And then because they're toughness 5 with feel no pain,
Yep.
somebody unleashes a whole bunch of battle cannon shots into them.
yeah, because they're strength 8, they still
Yeah.
get their feel no pain.
Do they get to re-roll their invulnerable saves?
No, only power armor saves.
Only power armor
Yeah.
saves.
So
Okay,
if it
so
was
Volkite
a club
Culverin?
gun,
Oh no, Volkite Culverins? Or, no, it's only templates, right?
only templates and blast weapons,
So flamers.
flamers, anything like thud guns was a good one.
Oh yeah, right.
The quad mortar.
Oh, that's right.
I think
so
I took-
there was a dude in that tournament
Yeah.
who dropped what? He got like 55
I think he
hits on
dropped
them.
like 56 hits on that squad, and because
But he
I
had
was
3 thud guns, right? Each
Yeah.
firing 4 shots.
so, and because of that toughness 5, because they're in void hardened armor,
And you've got to keep them close together.
yeah,
Yeah.
I took 56 hits, and I don't think I lost one. because I was re-rolling my 3+ save.
So
plus
3+
I had
with a
field.
reroll and then a 5+ feel no pain.
Yeah.
Oh, that's epic. All right. Okay, so those guys are hanging out. They've also got, you've got a Vindicator.
Yep, as part of my heavy selection.
Yeah, and that usually sort of gives support to the Spartan, or
Yeah, it just rolls forward with any troops that are on foot.
Yep.
Just putting down a bit of cover.
And then you've got, two of the units in your army, which I think are the sickest. You've got the 10-man las cannon team.
Yeah, that's a real dick move.
So these dudes are in Mark 2.
Mark 2, yeah, to go with the sort of Mark 3 veteran feel.
Yeah, exactly. And so the Mark 3, because these guys aren't getting in close and personal.
No, these guys are staying right back.
They're just camping back and just fucking ripping vehicles up. So Imperial Fists, one of their special rules is all heavy support teams.
Yep,
get
have tank hunter.
Yeah. So they get tank hunter for free.
No biggie.
Does a Master of Signals run with these guys?
I don't generally take him because,
okay.
Yeah, one of the limitations on the Rite of War is you can only take 2 Praetor, and you can only take 1 Centurion. And if you take 2, 1 must be the Emperor's Champion.
Oh, okay.
So I can't take...
the Legion Champion.
Yeah, so I've got the Primus Medicae as that choice at the moment.
Legion Champion.
So if I was going to take another character, it would have to be either another Praetor in a larger game or the Emperor's Champion. Yeah, Emperor's Champion.
And you're thinking about putting... well, we'll get to that at the end.
I've got plans.
Okay, so... and then my second favorite unit that you've got is the Contemptor Talon.
Yeah, I've got 2 out of 3 made so far.
Yeah.
And I love them. They've always been pretty solid.
So they're both armed with just dual claws?
At the moment, yeah.
And they basically just run alongside. You know those in the Zapruder footage of JFK getting shot? You know how there's the guys that just run along with their hands on the car bonnet, just like running along.
Yeah, they do that to the Spartan.
That's basically what the Contemptors do with the Spartan. Just get out of here, you!
Yeah.
Then the other Dreadnought tries to take a run at them. They just block them.
Yeah.
It's a great army. And it means, like, with those Contemptors as well, you strip out the vehicles and you've got, like, enough points to play a decent-sized Zone Metalis game as well.
Yeah, exactly,
and fucking breaches are awesome at Zone Metalis.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone through all the units and expanding this army further.
My plans, I've obviously got the Fellblade in the mix. That's going to be my primary Lord of War.
Yep.
But I've also got a Typhon for smaller games, like 2,000 points.
Oh, you got a Typhon?
Yeah, I do have a Typhon.
Oh, shit.
So I've got that as well. But the big ticket item that I want to add is I also want to add a Spartan.
Yep.
And I've also got enough Terminators to make a squad of 10 Terminators with a myriad, if you will, of close combat weapons and storm shields.
Yeah, Jesus.
So eventually...
Assault cannons?
Yeah, I do have 2 assault cannons in there, yeah. I've had to get some 40k ones and convert them up.
Yeah, that's brutal.
So they're on the bench to get painted pretty soon.
Those will be in Cataphracti or...
They're Cataphracts, yeah.
Cataphract.
I think it looks... Yeah, I just think it looks better. It just suits it better. A bit heavier set.
Yeah, that armor's pretty great.
And and so the end game is that the Praetor will be running around with them and the Primus Medicae in their own Spartan.
Well, yeah, this army is just so shit hot. What about 2 things that I know we've talked about on other occasions?
Mm.
Are you considering taking something like Dawn riding in his custom Thunderhawk?
Yeah, as soon as they drop that, I'm definitely getting Dawn, and I'll definitely be looking at getting a Thunderhawk. It's one of those kits I've always wanted since I was a kid, and seeing like the ones that came out years ago when I couldn't even afford.
Man, I'm so psyched for you to fucking get that. That'd be so awesome. Thunderhawk crushing onto the battlefield.
Yeah, and like
just
now
firing guns. It's got a fucking D cannon built into the hull as well.
And it's super hard to kill as well.
Yeah.
And it's a free Lord of War choice pretty much. If you take Dawn, you can take the Thunderhawk.
Yeah, so
also.
Yeah,
2 Lords
so
of War for one selection.
Dawn in a Spartan, crushing forward with some Terminators maybe, and then a fucking Thunderhawk just deploys like 2 units of 20 breaches.
Yeah, some guys. Just a few guys.
Oh shit, that's so good. And Dawn has like a special custom built Thunderhawk, right?
Yeah. It's pretty sweet. And it's got special, I think it's got a 4+ save against any missiles, any missile based attack, and it also has a void shield. So
So
it's
good.
pretty hardcore. We're
Well,
definitely
that'll be in
running
a
that.
while though.
Yeah, it's not for a
Um,
long time.
I'd like to see artwork of it. Is it like gold? Is it gilded or what is it?
I actually haven't
Did they
seen
explain?
any. Not really. It's just a custom-made Thunderhawk.
Oh, it'd have to be special, right?
Yeah,
It's like, is Dawn
definitely.
in golden armor or what's he in?
It's a good question.
I just can't wait to see what you do when they bring out a Dawn model, how you paint it, because if it's like metallic, are you gonna go NMM?
Well, I want to. I want to try it
NM
because I was
what
going to
is
do
it?
my
NMM, new non-metallic.
metallic.
Yeah,
non-metal.
NMM.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I was going to do my Emperor's Children like that till you talked me out of it.
Yeah, no, that would have been bad. Forge World has like a I don't know. Heresy stuff has like an industrial Forge World feel.
Yeah,
to it.
and the fact that
feel
if I
like
did it
anyway.
that way, I'd never finish it because it's so time consuming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's some really good Thunderhawks going back on the net already. So if I
Yep.
can find some pictures of guys that have converted that up. There's also some really good NNM. What is it?
NMM,
non-metallic
metallic.
metallics. Yeah.
You can see how fucking often we talk about it, about NMM. Fucking hell. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Let's just call it non-metallic metallics.
Yeah, that's easier to say that than the actual abbreviation.
All right. Okay. So that's pretty much everything on your army, right? We've already talked about the Fellblade, of course, the fucking thing that you're working on at the moment.
Yeah,
which
I just
is
want to get it finished.
just
But I don't want to rush
the
it.
fucking
So.
crusher.
Yeah.
Have you considered any of the other super heavies? I guess your army's going to be fucking massive. If you're starting Emperor's Children, right? So
yeah. So I'm gonna
once you finish the Fellblade, you've got another Dreadnought, right? For the
to
Talon,
finish off the Talon.
and then you're basically just going to tread water on that until
Yeah, I'm probably
Dawn drops.
it'll probably end up before Dawn drops, probably about being 5,000-6,000 points.
You know what's going to happen? You'll have 30 Imperial Fists jump pack Marines half done, and then they'll be like, "Oh, you got an email from Forge World. It's Friday night. What is it? Holy shit, it's done!" And then
shit.
what are you going to do? Just put Glad Wrap over them.
Yeah, put them in a box and then just
Put some cling film
order
over
Dawn
them.
straight away.
All right, cool. Well, that's pretty much it for the first part of the second half. I think we'll pretty much go to a musical interlude now,
Yeah.
and we'll come back with the wrap up.
Yeah, a couple of
Always-
events, a couple of shout outs.
Yeah, a couple of events, couple of people who've upset us online, and we're gonna speak some poison about them.
No, nothing like that.
We want people to come back after the break. To the IFRS podcast. We're ready to go with the wrap up. We had some decent response this week.
Yeah, it was excellent to get all the response from you guys. Basically, we've been pretty overwhelmed.
Yeah, we got a bunch of some emails. We got a whole bunch of messages on Facebook.
Yeah, we've been really impressed with
Twitter. Instagram's blowing up.
Yeah, all the photos that
Twitter's
people are
not going
sending
as
in.
well, but
It's been amazing. It's great.
yeah. So questions. We should start off with if people have any questions for us.
Yeah,
And they
definitely.
want our sage advice.
Yeah, on anything.
Yeah, it can be anything.
It
Heresy
can be as
related.
ridiculous as Tim's question.
As long as it's heresy related.
Yeah,
As long as we can answer it.
we're not going
about
to do
the
your maths
heresy.
homework for you.
So sorry, guys.
Toots, man.
So yeah, send your questions through Twitter. It's at IFRSPod. That's how we can. Yeah, that keeps the questions pretty short too. Means we don't get 10 paragraph questions. So keep it to 140 characters. So yeah, send your questions through to at IFRSPod on Twitter. Now, what do we want to go through first? First of all, we've got to shout out the Trader's Hand.
Yep.
That's Ty's blogging.
Empire, he's a good mate of ours. He's doing a lot for the hobby up in Townsville where he is.
Yeah, so Ty hosted the Trader's Hand. So we're bloggers on there. We update that with content all the time. And we've got to get some more content up there. Once we get,
We've been a bit busy lately
put these
with
photos.
family and work and everything. But yeah,
we should put these photos of your models up too, and I'll post up my Mechanicum.
Yep.
Maybe give a text explanation.
Yeah, a bit more in depth.
Okay, so the Trader's Hand, you can find that at thetradershand.blogspot.com. Also, the Trader's Hand on YouTube. That's probably like Ty's domain, right? Like he fucking crushes
He's
it.
got a lot of battle reports and stuff.
Yeah,
Like that, yeah.
So Ty
He just takes on all comers. So.
yeah, Ty plays games and videos them on YouTube. And
it's just a bunch of
he's
guys
got
having
so many
fun,
people
having
in
some
there.
beers.
Yeah, he gets way more people in there than he gets on the blog, he said, I think.
Yeah.
So, check that out. Yeah, he has some drinks. He's up in Townsville. He's further. He's in Queensland, the same state as us, but he's further up north. Yeah, and then those guys have a good time. The Trader's Hand on YouTube. It's on Facebook and tradershand.blogspot.com. What's up next?
I've got a couple of events.
Yep.
Well, nicely rolling into that. Ty is actually coming down to Brisbane and running the Anzac Cup on the 18th and 19th of April.
Yep.
It's a charity event for Soldier On, which is a charity which is pretty important. Helps looking after soldiers, wounded soldiers returning home from active duty and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so it's a really good charity. And they're running 30k, most importantly. Fantasy, 40k, Bolt Action, Infinity, and X-Wing. They're running all those systems.
So many games.
And I think they're up
it's a total
to...
fucking nerd weekend.
So Anzac Cup, it's going to be great. They're going to have Queensland modelers there with their displays and working on things. It's been an excellent last couple of years it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Next one, another one we're going to is Inferno 2, 2nd of May down in Cleveland. And it's the second part to that campaign that we've been playing.
Yeah, can't wait for that.
Yeah.
So Anzac Cup's 2,000 points heresy as well.
Yeah.
And 2,000 points Inferno as well.
Inferno, yeah.
So 2,000 point tournaments coming up. Have you got your list ready?
Kind of. I think I'm still playing Fantasy for Anzac Cup.
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
gotta think of an Inferno
Yeah.
because the Inferno's running the attacker and defender list.
So we can use our dog tags from the last event.
Well, you could use those just in a normal army, but the attacker and defender lists allow you to take extra fortifications in the list as well as.
Actually, no, I haven't even looked at that. So I better.
I'm pretty sure the attacker list has you don't need any compulsory troops, stuff like that.
I better do some research into that actually.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Other than that, we got a bunch of messages come through.
You've got a couple of events?
Oh yeah, I do have a couple of events. Okay, so I've got a couple of events. We've got the Calaran Crusade. That's a global event being played. It's being organised by Andrew at Oz30k. So you can, if you search on Facebook for Calaran, Kaloran Crusade, comes up with some pages and things, and it's being hosted organised by Oz30k.com. Just either go to Oz30k.com or check out Facebook. That's
there's
cool.
a link to it in the show notes from episode 2.
Yeah, I wish I could play, but I'll be having a child that day, so
What?
probably...
What? Get a grip.
Okay, and then there's also this campaign weekend that's being run on the 17th and 19th of April in Britain, where have we got here? Hosted at the Northwest Gaming Centre in Stockport, UK. So that's the one that we talked about last week, where they've got the 37-page players pack, and it has all of this awesome shit. You know, if you want to run some custodes, if you've got some custom custode models or Sisters of Silence, you should definitely get down there.
That sounds
and
really
get into that
interesting. I
tournament.
want to see how that goes.
Yeah, I really want to see pics. So that came through on Twitter. One of the guys messaged us, sent us a Twitter message about that, tipping us off to that one. So yeah, if you're in the UK and you're in that area and you've got a couple of days to spare, you should definitely head there. It sounds so good. And if you're going, definitely take some photos and show us or put them on the
If you've
website
got an event coming up
let us see
yourself,
them.
Let us know.
Yeah. Anyone who has an event, just let us know. You might catch a few extra people here, maybe. Yeah, it's
Filling
all
up
about
30K.
dudes looking for dudes
To play
Heresy.
30k with,
to play
yeah.
30K. Okay, cool. So we got some messages come through. Quick shout out to David Sampson. Yes, Mechanicum is the best.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about.
and we'll keep pumping out shows. As long as it's
Yeah.
fun, we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, as long as you don't come here with pitchforks, flaming brands, and fucking murder us in our sleep.
Because you disagree with our some of our
Yeah,
how their
exactly.
views.
Also, shout out to Greg and also On the Lamb off the forums. Thanks for letting us know about the sound levels in the last episode. Hopefully it's a bit better this time, running this better computer. We're looking at getting new microphones next, so the sound should be even better.
Slowly improving.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting there. We have to order stuff from... In Australia, if you want to get stuff for a decent price, you have to order it from overseas, and then you got to wait like weeks and weeks for it to arrive. So we're doing our best. I think we're doing pretty well.
I'd like to think so.
I would self-evaluate us as being shit hot.
Oh, that's like a pretty mighty call, but
It's alright. It's alright to believe in yourself.
yeah, all right.
Alright, shout out to Greg Bidoff as well.
Yeah, he sent us. Craig sent us a message, liking the show, and also a picture of his 6,000 points of nights.
Yeah, 6,000 points. That's a ridiculous number of nights, but we love it.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want. So keep sending those photos in. It's been excellent. It's awesome to see everybody's work.
Yeah,
That's what
Craig,
we want to keep seeing.
Craig, you should write into us again and tell us about any games you've played and whether
Yeah, I
you've
want to,
just
because
fucking
Craig said
ruffle stomped people.
yeah, he was saying he hasn't tested it yet.
Oh, he hasn't?
No.
Ah, alright.
So I'm waiting to see how that goes.
Just got to find someone to play with you, Craig. That's all.
Just say, hey mate, do you want to play 6,000 points? Just
Yeah,
and then
6,000
end the conversation there, and then you turn up with like what I think that would be like 12 miniatures.
Yeah,
And,
do it in a chat room. That's the easiest way to do things like that.
Record the rage.
That's what I've heard. Just type, do you want to play 6,000 points? Y/N ? And then when they say yes, just say, send me your address. And then by the time you're at the house, you're pulling out your 6,000 points worth of knights, it's too late for them.
Too
What are they
late.
going to do? Kick you out of their house? Fuck
Yeah,
out.
or let you set your
It's just
stuff
rude.
up, flip the table, and then kick you out of their house.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you're not going to table flip in your own house, are you?
Nah,
You're
not,
only ever
not with
gonna-
your own stuff on.
Yeah,
it.
no, you look like a fucking complete prat. Like, it's alright to like table flip at someone else's house if you're like, you're a fuck, I can't believe you're playing this shit on me. I came to your house. But if you go to someone's house with your army
Ooh.
and then pull it out, what are they going to just flip the table and then go like and wait for you to just pick up all of the pieces of your models? Like it'd be so fucking awkward. It's not going to happen. You're only ever going to table flip at other people's events. That's what I'm saying. So
All right, I
remember,
like that. That's a
trick
nice piece
people-
of gaming etiquette.
if you've got a knight army and you're going to just totally shit all over someone, make sure it's at their house.
And it's insured.
Yeah, that's a pro tip. Or in a very public place,
Yeah.
like a town square or something like that, or an online streamed HD
Safe forum.
yeah copy, and the police have DNA samples from both of you in case one of you goes missing. All right, cool. So that's all the shout outs, is it?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the show today.
Yeah. I've just refreshed my email, and we got an email here from Paul in Portsmouth. He sent us through a nice email. Got a bunch of pictures there that we'll put in the gallery on Facebook.
Yeah.
Now sounds like he's a fan of the show, and he has asked, what do you think the best points value for 30k is? So what points level? because he mentions he reckons it's 3,500 points, which is a pretty big game.
I'd say he's pretty spot on. Like we've only been playing
3,500. Ooh, it's huge.
Well, maybe not quite that big, but I reckon around the 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5 to.
Because that way it's
3K.
the balance between time, because some of those big games can drag out.
Yeah, I like
sort of what you can take, because you can take a lot of good stuff in 2,500.
Yeah, I like the smaller point games because they're more like sort of the combat that goes in the novels and something like that, like more of just a couple of squads having a death match.
Yeah.
And then I also like the bigger points, sort of like 2,500, 3,000, somewhere around there, when people bring super heavies. I like it if both people are sort of prepared for that big points levels.
Yeah, it's a bit disheartening when someone turns up with like a knight or a fellblade, and you're like, oh well, I got no super heavies or prime
infantry
marks.
army, and you've got a fucking Typhon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm sort of all over the shop. I'll play at any points level. If I was running a tournament, I'd probably try and fit as many games in on the one day as possible. I'd probably run 1,500 points for a tournament, like a campaign, because then you can you could feasibly put 5 games in a day. You play 5 different people. Yeah. I like the way fantasy works with the tournaments, where they always aim for about 5 plus games.
Yeah.
So yeah, just really depends on what your meta is. But yeah, Paul also said that he's moving back to Brisbane at some point, so that's crazy.
That's where we are.
Yeah, that's where we are. So yeah, Paul, hit us up, and we'll definitely play you in a game.
Definitely.
You can play one of us, or you can play both of us, and we'll share an army. No, that's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's a bit creepy.
You can take us on one at a time. Pink slips. Alright, cool. We'd just like to shout out our own shit now. ihavehorruspodcast@gmail.com is our email address. You can send us a message there anytime. Greg from Imperial Truth sent us an email, a great email actually. Just
a
lot
of tips for us, for us amateurs.
So yeah, definitely, if you're listening to us and for some reason haven't heard his podcast, give it a go. I have Horus at I have Horus Pod on Twitter. Come and talk to me there.
Yep.
And I have Horus Pod on Instagram. So we've got heaps of people on Instagram. We've got like over 70 people on Instagram, and we're putting up pics of our miniatures and just cool shit. But not as many people on Twitter. But people will come there to ask
I don't have
us
Twitter. I don't even know
what
what Twitter is. So.
Well, I don't even know what Facebook is.
Okay.
And shit, we should talk about competitions. We're thinking about running some comps.
Yeah. What sort of competitions would you guys like to see? Tim found a really cool prize. He's just he's itching to give away. But in what way?
Prizes. Yeah, we got 2 cool prizes. One of them, I think we should have a terrain table competition.
That'd be cool.
And one of them, and then we should have a painting competition as well. And, we'll we'll talk. If
you got any really good ideas for a competition where you guys want to get cool prizes, pretty cool prizes. Like,
it would probably be something
impossible to get prizes.
It'd be something like a monthly competition, and then the big prize that we've discussed. Ooh, secret. We're talking about secret stuff, guys. We'll probably keep that for like an event or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's a shit hot prize.
One of a kind.
Yeah, it is one of a kind. It's the only one that I have, that's for sure. No, it is one of a kind. It's a piece of gaming history or gaming memorabilia, I guess, that I won in like a lucky draw somehow at a fantasy tournament like 5 years ago. And it's a 40k. Like people who are into heresy will definitely be like, oh, that's shit hot. I want that. Yeah. So we'll talk about that a bit later. It's kind of rude.
Come up with some ideas for competitions that you'd like to see.
Yeah, I think probably like a best painted miniature of the month or something like that. Because I don't go onto Facebook. I only look at it every week when you come around and show me on your iPad.
The way we've split it up is I do the Facebook.
Yep.
And Tim runs the Twitter and Instagram. Imgur. All that stuff that I don't understand.
Go to CORUBLO at imgur.com. That's my photo blog thing where I do battle reports and that sort of stuff. So yeah,
check it.
That's everything. The last shout out that I've got it written here in big print. Alan Bly, if you're ever in Brisbane, we want to take you out for dinner.
Yeah.
We might even buy you some drinks. I don't know if you're a drinker. I think he's probably a drinking guy, right?
I don't know. We'd love to pick your brain.
Yeah, we'd love to talk to you. So if you're ever in Brisbane, we'd love to take you out for dinner. We'll take you somewhere really nice too.
We know heaps of nice places.
Yeah, Brisbane's got some good restaurants.
It does, yeah. It's really nice.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're ever in Brisbane, Alan, hit us up. Australia's too big to just say if you're ever in Australia, because
It is.
Sydney's what, like 900 kilometers away.
Yep.
Melbourne's even further.
$2,000.
Just Townsville, where Thai is what, like 1800 k's away or something like that. So
God, something like that, something massive.
it's miles away. Okay, anyway, that's all for this week. And remember, fully
Fully
painted
painted
is
is
for
for
closers.
closers.